Merry Christmas, everyone, and happy holidays. This is Reservations, and I'm Rain Whalen.
And I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
You know, I fucking love that song.
I don't.
When Abbey Road, obviously a repressing. Abbey Road was like the third or fourth record I ever bought. Now I remember one day I was like cleaning my room and I had it on, and it got to that song and I was like, "Yo, this song fucks, dude."
Well, and I might just need to listen to it again and maybe form a different opinion. But as of right now, I remember not liking that song very much. But
now, don't get me wrong, the lyrical content's fucked up.
Yeah, of course.
But it's still, I still love it.
Normally, that doesn't affect, like, lyrics don't normally affect, like, if I like a song or not. Mostly just how it sounds. Like, I remember not liking just the structure of the song. Like, I just didn't like how it sounded.
But I mean, as we talked about in our Hard Day's Night episode, you're learning you're more of a Rolling Stones fan than a Beatles fan, you know.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's funny, speaking of the Rolling Stones, I recounted the tale of the Rolling Stones t-shirt with Alba to a coworker today. And I don't know what triggered it, but I was like, like a while back, like we're hanging out with some friends of ours, and I was like, my buddy Jeremy was wearing this Rolling Stones shirt, and I'm like, their logos, different tongues, and one had like a bunch of spikes on it, and our friend's daughter walked up and was just like, if a tongues like that, I'd get rid of myself.
Yeah. I don't have that shirt anymore.
Well, someone out there probably still has it.
Maybe.
And is like, yeah,
I remember exactly where I got it at the Gap. So
The Gap?
The Gap. I got that one, and I got a Doors t-shirt, and I don't have either of those anymore.
Not the Gape.
Yeah. But I wanted to bring something up before we get started with the episode.
Okay, yeah, because you said you wanted to mention something.
Because I was really upset by this, and you have probably already told me, and I had forgotten. But I was getting a little tipsy, and I was going through. Haley and Maya were asleep on the couch, and I was, just getting pretty tipsy. I think I put on Contagion or something. I don't know. And and I was scrolling through because I'm like, what would be really cool to watch? A Single Man. I love that movie so much, and it'd be fun to rewatch. So I was trying to find it, and it was nowhere. And I didn't want to come all the way upstairs to get the Blu-ray and whatever. And so I'm like, whatever. But that got me thinking. I'm like, you know what? I wonder how we did on that. And so I was looking for the episode. Gone.
Oh yeah, I think it was one of the ones that got cut.
Yeah, and there's no getting that one back, I don't think, because I don't.
No, we have video of it.
Do we? Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's 7 episodes. Yeah, that got cut.
Yeah.
Or at least ones that I can retrieve.
Okay.
That got cut. Yeah, everyone again. Yeah, that was one that. What song did we use?
I'm sure we used part of this because the soundtrack is gorgeous, and it's the same composer that also did Nocturnal Animals with Tom Ford, and just his orchestral scores are haunting and foreboding, and they're just amazing to listen to. I love them. It really puts you in the exact mindset and tone you need to be in to watch these movies, and I'm sure we're just not allowed to use it. But yeah, I was really disappointed that I couldn't find it. I was like, I remember it was called Becoming George, but I couldn't remember what season it was on, and so I tried finding it and gone.
Yeah, season 6 here. Let's see. Let's look at the views. Hey, it's got 59 views.
That's pretty good.
And a thumbs up.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good, because I
Not
was going to
bad.
suggest if it wasn't on there, because I didn't even think to look on YouTube, that we would need to redo it because I love that movie and
Yeah. Yeah, I know I said it in the episode, but I put it on just a whim one day. Like I don't think it was on, it was before, I think it was long before we started doing lists. And I was just sitting at home one day and saw it on Netflix. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Colin Firth, Tom Ford.
So good.
And just fell madly in love with the movie. And I knew as soon as I finished it, I was like, we have to do it.
Yeah.
Like ASAP, immediately. Yeah, shout out to our single man episode. It's on YouTube still.
Okay, good.
But for those of you listening, it will be back up on audio format just whenever I actually find the time.
It's fine. Hey, as long as it gets up there, dude. Like it's on YouTube. That's cool. That's better than it not having it at all.
Yeah.
Because I was so bummed. I was like, man, I remember like, I thought we did okay on that one, and I was like, how man,
I feel like we did too. I mean, I feel like Nocturnal Animals might need a redux because that one I feel like I did not add anything to.
I love
A Single Man.
Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah, dude, Nocturnal Animals.
Tom Ford needs
that should win Best Picture.
That should win Best Picture. Tom Ford needs to make another one.
Yeah. I think you said it in the episode. As much as we love Tom Ford, he's a son of a bitch. He makes films to get inspired, and they are critically acclaimed,
and they're beautiful and they're perfect.
Bangers,
It's just not fair. He's just so talented.
And then he makes Suits too.
Yeah,
like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, I was showing Mom because I'm like, you need to watch A Single Man. I was telling her the other day. She's in town. She's downstairs actually, and and I was telling her, you need to see this movie. I know you love Colin Firth. You're gonna love this. And I was trying to tell her who Tom Ford was, and I go, well, he brought Gucci out of bankruptcy. Like he made it to what it is today. And I pulled up the IMDb, and she goes, oh, who is he? And it says here, Quantum of Solace. I go, oh no, they're wearing his tuxedos. Yeah. He was the costume.
Because everyone is Quantum of Solace is such a mid James Bond film, but everyone's so handsome.
Everyone's so handsome. Everyone's wearing the best tuxes and best suits. Okay, good. I'm glad it's on YouTube. That makes me feel better.
Still on YouTube. Hopefully maybe future rain for the video we'll put like a little plug or something. But it's still on YouTube. Good. And again, eventually it will be back on audio. So if you just like to hear our voices, it will be back up there. And also, speaking of voices, sorry if I sound a little congested. I've been dealing with a lot of congestion. Hopefully I'm in the end of it, but
you can always tell.
I'm gonna try not to sneeze.
You can always tell when you're at the end of it because it all just wants to come out of your face all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like coughing, sneezing, whatever. Like your ears are popping, everything it's all in your face and it's terrible.
Yeah, it sucks. But I'm gonna try not to sneeze, and if I do, I'm gonna try to quickly hit the mute button so people will just see me drop out of frame.
Swear to God, if you sneeze.
Well, everyone, welcome to the annual Christmas episode. And I think this is one of the closest ones I think we've done to Christmas.
Probably.
Maybe. I should make a playlist on the YouTube channel of like our Christmas episodes.
Some of them are bad. Just so you know.
Here, let's see. That's the Halloween one last year. I don't think we did one last season because I think we
did. Oh well, maybe not last season, but we did last year. It was Klaus last year.
Yes. Where we absolutely like. Was that last season?
I don't know. It wasn't last season, but it was last year. I mean, we do about 2 a year.
Hang on, now I'm questioning things because the last one from season 9, it said our Christmas episode was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
That's interesting. Nope, I don't think Maya was born yet.
Hang on, now I need to know.
This is great podcasting.
I mean, you know, dude, there's like other podcasts where there's long stretches of like nothing happening.
Yeah, you're right. I suppose. Looking at you, Joe Rogan.
Oh no, you're right. It was last season. Yeah, Klaus.
Klaus,
Yeah, that was our last one. Yeah. Wait, I was like, why the fuck? That one did come out on Christmas. So this one, yeah. So this one will come out. The audio will come out 2 days before Christmas, and the video will come out on Christmas Eve. But still,
you
know,
yeah, Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas, yeah, and Happy Holidays, everyone. So, Jeremy, what are we talking about today? Because it's finally your pick again.
Yeah, dude, like I was so excited. Once I was like, I want to talk about this movie. It has to be the Christmas movie. So today we are discussing the 2023 Alexander Payne comedy drama, The Holdovers.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know what movie it was, and I don't remember if we had gone to the movies together or Ashley and I had gone to the movies together. But I distinctly remember being at the movies with someone, and the trailer for this came on, and as soon as I saw Paul Giamatti's face, I was like, sold. Here we go. But then actually watching the trailer and seeing how things were filmed, I immediately fell in love, because even the trailer, which I'm sure we'll get to in the actual episode, even the trailer felt like a very 70s trailer. And I was like, something about this is really cool, and I don't think we got it. And or at least if we did, we didn't get it for very long, and I just never had an opportunity to go see it.
Yeah.
And then it came out physically, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it on 4K. I'm gonna watch it. Just never got around to it either. But man, after I finished it, I looked at Ashley and I was like, that was fucking great.
Yeah. No, this movie is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I even told her what you said, that this movie's on its way to becoming like a Christmas classic.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
So since this was your pick, what were you able to see it in theaters, or did you have to wait?
I saw it when it was available on Peacock, actually. Shout out to Peacock. I guess. I mean, yeah. I guess. Well, who cares? And I was really excited that it was on there. And I saw it. Haley thinks she was with me, and she wasn't. She was doing something else. She was not in the apartment. And I put it on. I was like, I heard it's great. You know, I sort of had like, I don't know if it was an unnecessary sort of contempt for Alexander Payne at the time, because I saw Sideways. I was pretty young. I was probably in high school when I saw Sideways, and I hated it. Okay. And it's funny I say that because I went to Half Price Books today and I bought Sideways because I was going to try it again. Because I was like, I was just probably just too young and whatever. I mean, some of the plot I have problems with, but whatever. I'll give it another shot. But I liked Nebraska with Will Forte and Bruce Dern. That one was really good. And that was Alexander Payne. So I was like, you know what? How bad could it be? Right? And I've heard it was really good. I love Paul Giamatti. I think he's incredible. And then I started it, and immediately I was like, oh, I love this. Just the overall, just the feel of it. I loved how the movie looked and how it felt and how, I don't know, it was both nostalgic, but it also had, you know, a lot of sort of modern charm to it as well. And I asked you last week if you could try to guess the movie that I sort of feel had a kinship to this film, a movie that we've done before on the show. Um, and I wanted to see if you also felt this way. It's not an exact apples to apples sort of comparison, but I feel like they have the same vibes.
Okay.
Which do you think it is?
So I'm going to be perfectly honest. I forgot you asked me to do that.
It's completely fine.
But I was thinking, like, I feel like I've seen this type of story before of, like, you know, people learning the other side of things. So what did you think it was?
So for me, when I saw the movie for the first time, I go, this feels so much like Harold and Maude to me. Because of the aesthetic, yes.
Okay.
But also just like, the way that Alexander Payne is using the soundtrack, the way that he is choosing to film, like how he's, organizing shots and just overall just tone of the film just reminded me so much of Harold and Maude. And obviously that's on purpose. Like, I think that it feels so much like Hal Ashby directed this film. And of course, Alexander Payne is intentionally making a film that feels like it was made in 1970. And it's just incredible. So.
Okay. I could see that. I could see that a little bit. But who would be Harold and who would be Maude?
I'm not. I'm not saying that it's like an apples to apples comparison in terms of story, but in terms of filmmaking style
of vibes.
Yeah, sure. Like I think it just feels like a Hal Ashby movie from that time.
I could see that.
And of course, it's intentional. But
yeah, I mean, I gotta say, the minute I turned it on, and you hear the crackling of the film reel, like, dude, I was like, I'm in it. Let's go.
All post-production, because he shot it digitally, and just added everything in.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
I know
that we can see those little the hairs on the film. That's crazy.
It's like he shot it on 16 millimeter, and it's just digital, and he just added it all in post-production. I guess to give him more control over it, over the imperfections, I guess. But anyway, okay. Synopsis. I gotta get people's names right. Okay. So The Holdovers follows a Professor Paul Hunnam. He is an ancient history instructor at this very high-class prep school somewhere in New England. And Angus Tully is a bright but sort of a ne'er-do-well pupil at the school. And due to some circumstances, he is unable to leave campus for Christmas break. And so he has to hold over, which means he stays on campus during Christmas break, and there's a few other kids that are staying there also. One of which is the worst kid in human history.
Yeah, I agree.
What was his name? Teddy
Kuntz.
Yeah, Teddy Kuntz. Yeah, he's the absolute worst. So, as they all sort of hold over, and Professor Paul Hunnam is put in charge of the kids that are holding over for the Christmas break, because he's kind of in trouble with the administration for failing a kid who's the son of a senator. Who donates a lot of money to this boarding school, and it's kind of a political faux pas to fail his son. So he's in trouble. So he has to watch the kids as they hold over. Now, during this time, obviously there's tension between Professor Hunnam, who is hated by students and faculty alike. He's very strict. He's very no nonsense. He seems to be just no fun at all, right?
Yeah.
And like taking everything just too seriously. Like he doesn't seem to, just relax. And also there over the Christmas break is Mary Lamb. Mary Lamb is one of the head cooks of the boarding school. Her son had recently graduated from the prep school, but died in Vietnam. And she is grieving the loss of her son as her husband died shortly after she gave birth, I believe.
No, I think I think she said
she gave birth. You're right.
before.
And so she has literally no one. And during the break, all the kids get to leave and go skiing with one of the kids' families, except for Angus. Angus is the only one that's stuck there with Paul and Mary as they ride out the rest of the break together. During this time, there are obvious tensions between Hunnam and Tully, as he is a student of his, and they clash. And Mary, of course, is just trying to keep herself together. This is her first Christmas without her son, Curtis. So, as the break progresses, they get to know each other a little bit more. They understand each other's perspectives on certain things. Angus suggests that they go to Boston, and so they go to. Sorry, one of my producers just came in. Can I see you? Sorry, this is one of my producers just came in to say goodnight. And so, and you were asleep when we watched this. So you don't know.
I was gonna say she is fading.
She is sleeping. Okay, bye-bye. Night night, I love you. We'll keep that in.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye. Love you. Okay. So they go to Boston, and Mary gets to stay with her sister, and Paul and Angus get to just spend one-on-one time together. And this is where the film really shifts, because now they're really getting to know one another. They understand that they have a lot in common. One of which is they're both on antidepressants.
The same kind.
The same kind, yeah. And we get to see the human side of Paul Hunnam during this trip, as we learn a lot about him, and we'll get to all of that. And Angus is sort of letting himself be vulnerable and, open up about what's going on in his life. His father, it turns out, is not dead, as he stated before, and he is in a mental institution in Boston, and that's why he wanted to go. He goes to visit his father, which didn't go very well. And by the time they come back after their trip, Angus's parents find out what happened, as Angus gifted his father a snow globe at the institution, and he tried to kill an orderly with it. And so now they know that they went to Boston and saw his father. He is not supposed to do that. And they're threatening to expel him. Paul takes full responsibility for the incident and is fired. Angus gets to stay, and they all seem to grow from this experience, from their time together during this break. Paul realizes that he's been holding himself back out of fear and comfortability. Angus has been holding so much anger and resentment for things that are out of his control, and that he sort of lets that go. And Mary just gets better just every day, one step at a time.
Yeah.
And that's the Holdovers.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I knew from the trailer, I knew, that Paul Giamatti's character, which I find it's funny that his character's name is Paul. But I knew that, his character was sort of like the hard ass professor who, I'm very strict.
Dude,
and I love that
he's
we get
ruthless.
Dude, for fucking one of the grades he gave on that final exam was an F plus.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, it's I was like, dude, I would not be passing this class.
No.
Granted, I wouldn't be taking fucking ancient history, but I love that we kind of get that in the scene where he's told, like, you'll be watching the Holdovers this year. And we get the whole the reasoning that he's being punished, and I do like that we understand he's not being mean for the sake of being mean. It's more, it's my job as an educator to mold these kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take it easy on them. And and I love that, that no exceptions, not even to a senator's kid. Right. I don't care. Like, and he even tells the headmaster, like, what, I'm pretty much like, well, I'm supposed to pass this kid just because he donated money to our gym? No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And I like that we get that we get to see that Paul he does have convictions.
Well, and he has such impossibly high standards, right? Because and I'm not saying that this kid, isn't an idiot. I'm sure the kid's an idiot, but
sure.
And undeserving of his spot in this school. I mean, that's clear. But he calls him a troglodyte, and that made me laugh so hard because it's so mean. And he means it. Like, he's being so serious. Like, he's like, this kid is so stupid.
This is the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why would I ever, pass him for no reason? And I like that, it's sort of a cliche that he is the way he is in terms of his standards and the way that he treats students and the way that he sees education, until we find out more about him in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
That he is holding everything to such a high standard because he feels like he was cheated out of his life, basically, at Harvard. And
well, which he was.
He absolutely was cheated out of everything at Harvard. And so he feels like he has this opportunity. It's really all that he has because he can't get another job where he wants without a college education, or a college degree. And so he's holding everything to such a high standard, and he's taking it so seriously because, number one, I think he doesn't want to squander his opportunity. Number two, I feel like he's just angry. And I get it.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. And I love that we don't get all this context up at the top of the film. I feel like a lesser movie would have done that. We would have understood his motivations from the top, but I feel like that wouldn't have added to the audience experience of seeing his character growth. And I love that we get these three scenes in the film of each character, of Paul, and then of Tully, which is my favorite when he's packing to go. And we understand that he does not like this Kuntz guy at all.
Nobody should.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Kid's evil.
Yeah, he deserved those third-degree burns from skiing. And I just love that we're also establishing that Tully is very angry and is also very intelligent. Like that comeback of like like that one kid of saying like I don't need to look at the skin mag because I'm getting enough from, can't remember the kid's name, but like his mom is giving it to me every day, so why do I need that?
Yeah.
But I really love that like again that we have these scenes, and then with Mary seeing how almost we knew before we have the reveal of Curtis being dead. We see that she's sort of motherly and like really runs the kitchen very well. So I love that we get these moments with these characters at the beginning to understand who they are in very subtle and not spoon feeding us, the audience, at all.
Yeah, because like once you see this film and once you understand everyone's predicament, everyone's baggage, they're all grieving, they're all angry, and they all just needed support, right?
Yeah.
Obviously Mary is so angry that her child has died and that he wasn't even given a chance to live his life, right? And Angus is grieving, his mom is sort of abandoning him for this new relationship, for this new marriage, and his father is, I would say that it might be worse that he isn't dead, right? Because the fact that he's alive, but it's sort of, he's not really there anyway, is worse. And of course, Paul is grieving just the loss of the life that he wanted. He feels like he's not living to his full potential, so much so that he has convinced himself he can't do it. When Mary talks to him, about the that fancy word for a novella.
Starts with an M.
It does.
Fuck.
You could find the word, but whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
she's just like, you can't dream a full dream. Like he has broken himself down so much by just convincing himself that this is the best he can do. Which is understandable given his circumstance, that he feels that this is the best he can do because he was given this opportunity to teach at the school without a college degree. Then he feels like he's stuck. Monograph. Thank you. And he just feels like, if I gamble and I leave this place, I could end up worse than, than where I am now. And so they're all grieving and they're all angry. And that's why they work so well together. I think by the midpoint of the break, that's when they all, sort of mesh and sort of start to understand one another a lot better.
Agreed. Yeah. I would say definitely after the Christmas Eve party that they have, where I love that we also get our expectations subverted a little bit with the woman that Paul is crushing on, and then come to find out she's got a boyfriend. I kind of like that. I mean, it sucks for Paul.
It does,
because it definitely felt like they were building up to be like, oh, they're gonna start a romance. Like, oh no. But anyway, I would say after that Christmas Eve party is when the walls really start to come down. Especially with with Paul making an effort to try to get a Christmas tree
Yeah.
and give everyone a present. I feel like that's when, they really start to mesh a little bit more. And I think that's what takes convincing of Tully, for Paul to finally be like, all right, yeah, we'll go to Boston then. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to add to that because you really eloquently said that. I will say another thing is I love that the comedy in this film isn't jokes. It's almost like real life scenarios. Like the
Yeah.
comedy comes in these real moments. Like uh like when Paul is rushing Tully to the hospital after he dislocates his shoulder. You said you washed your hands of me. I meant that metaphorically. It's so good,
Well, yeah, and
and
he's
they're
like, "Of
not.
course you made a metaphor." Like, what did you think? I was just going to watch you wash your hands, you know? Like, it's so funny that they're having this argument, and he's hysterical because Tully, because his arm is out of place, and but he can still think, he still has the wherewithal to reaffirm that, yes, I understand what metaphorical means.
Yeah.
It's so good. And here's where I think the exact moment that that Paul knows how much potential Angus has is right before he runs and jumps on that trampoline. He says something in Latin, and his
Mm-hmm.
eyebrows go up because he goes, "That was really good," right? Like, he was able to be sort of snarky and sarcastic in Latin, so he is paying attention to something, and he is retaining historical information. Um, and then of course from there it's but
Well, and I think I'm glad you brought that up. I think I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure Tully gets the highest grade on the final
he
exam.
does. He gets a B+. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I think in that moment when he's grading the final exam, I think it hasn't really clicked with Hunnam that Tully has so much potential. I think you're right. I think it's in that moment he's like, oh,
Yeah.
huh. Because I think he has no option but to pay attention to Tully
Mm-hmm.
as we're like grading papers. It's like, oh, yeah, all right, yeah, sure, B+, whatever. Because he's got all these other students.
Well, no, and I think that it's, if Tully were a bad student, I mean, it's to say that Hunnam would have failed him given the option. But
Yeah,
this is how Tully is really good at this, and he is very intelligent, is that Hunnam cannot give him a bad grade, even though it looks like as if he is trying to find imperfections in all of these other exams. He can't. And the B+ is probably, it's probably an A or an A+
yeah,
exam, you know what I mean? But it being Hunnam, he's going to find something. But that tells you just how intelligent he is. But again, he's just so angry,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
full of contempt that um, once that goes away, he'll be unstoppable. Yeah,
And that's the other thing that really subverted my expectations is the reveal that his father's still alive.
yeah,
I started to suspect. I was like, oh, his dad's dead. And then we get the dialogue that his dad's dead
yeah.
after Hunnam allows his anger to take control and say some things he probably didn't really mean. I was like, oh man, that sucks. And then when they're in Boston and he tells him like, I want to go see my dad. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna go to the cemetery. And then as soon as they roll up to that building, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's not a cemetery. That's not a mortuary. What is that? And that really kind of blew me away. That not only is his dad alive, but so I thought his dad just had full blown dementia because there is, which I mean he does, as it's revealed at the end of the movie, he does have early onset dementia. But I thought it was full blown dementia because he almost doesn't seem to really recognize Angus at first,
which also might be the case anyway.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, but it feels like he doesn't really, he's just waiting for Angus to stop talking.
Yeah.
So he can say they're putting something in my food. That's what it feels like.
No, agreed. Yeah, because Angus is so excited to tell his dad, like, I've got good grades. Thinking about maybe trying out for tennis. Not just JV, of course. And he's so excited to tell his dad all this, and the whole time his dad is just kind of like looking around the room, looking back he is looking at Angus, but there's almost like this recognition of concern. And I think you're right. It is just to tell him, I think they're putting something in my food.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. And I also agree with what you said, that like it might have been better for his dad to be dead, because that scene was really rough to watch. But I was not expecting, again, my expectations being subverted really well, for Angus just to lay it all out there with Hunnam. Like, I was expecting him really to kind of shut down after that, and Hunnam to really try to talk to me, like, I'm here, and I like that he willingly like told Hunnam, like, like this is what's been going down, like I've really wanted to see him. And this movie, if I haven't said it enough already, does such a great job of subverting expectations.
I agree. Like when he meaning Hunnam, when Hunnam opens up to Tully about what happened to him at Harvard, I was really surprised by that, because like you said, you're not expecting him to reveal so much of himself to a student of all people, right? But he feels such a connection with Tully because I feel like they can both sense that they're both going through something really difficult, right? And of course, Tully is now an accessory in the lie that he told his old college buddy. And also, so the story he tells is tragic, obviously, because he's, he was cheated out of his Harvard education, out of his college education, because this kid who happened to be the son of someone very prominent within the community, lied. And, but there was also so much comedy within that scene, because he's like, well, no, I was expelled because I hit him. Like, oh my God, you punched him?
Oh,
with my car.
Yeah, and the whole time he's trying to buy booze.
Yeah, he's just trying to find the Jim Beam,
Yeah, and I love the guy at the counter is like, there you go, killer.
He lived. He's fine.
Yeah. I mean, he does say it was an accident. He should have been walking in the street. Yeah. Yeah. Again, back to the comedy. The comedy never felt forced. It was actually funnier than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be more drama than comedy, but man, I was cracking up. The part that really got me the most was the ending, but I'm not ready to talk about that yet.
When Mary gets the same book as Angus does.
Oh, I laughed so hard.
I mean, that's
so
classic.
You just give this to everybody?
Classic. And then, of course, it's revealed at the end he has a box full of these books that he's obviously just been giving out to people. So he didn't... Retroactively, it's funnier because, you now realized he didn't just go out and buy it for them specifically. He just had a box of them in his office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I wanted to mention this real quick about the end when I said it really got me. It made me more angry than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that in a second.
Sure.
So I also love, after the break, we get to kind of see some of the kids that were being held over in the aftermath of them coming back, like the football player who cut his hair.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, his dad made him do it, dude.
Yep.
And I think that was something else that makes this movie so good, is I actually kind of cared. I was like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
His dad made him cut his hair. Shit.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting for any of that to get a payoff at all. It's just, I felt that it was just padding, dialogue padding,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, when he gets back from break and he cut his hair, you're just like, oh, okay, well, this
Koontz
kid
got that.
He doesn't have the upper hand he thinks he does in that relationship he has with his father. And it's like him getting picked up from holding over had strings attached. So,
yeah. Also, sidebar. I'm not trying to poke holes in the film. Gotta say, it's crazy. Okay, it's crazy that when the football player and his dad comes and picks him up, that he takes Koontz, Park, and then the fucking Mormon kid with him. That all their parents signed off on. Like, yeah, you can go skiing with that kid.
Okay, so I thought about that because agreed, surface level, I think that is insane. Also, however, because of their specific circumstances, none of these boys were being punished for anything besides the football player, right?
Yeah.
They're just in a circumstance where they could not be picked up from campus, right? It's not that, they're told they have to stay. They're just like, we can't come get you. And so if they were giving another opportunity to leave campus and go have fun with another member of this prestigious prep boarding school, then sure, why not? I mean, it's like, yeah, this guy's like a multi-millionaire business, blah, 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 blah. Sure.
Yeah,
like,
why not?
Because one kid's parents are in Korea, and they're already, here's the deal, is they're already entrusting their children to the school in general, right? Because they're not there anyway. So because it's a boarding school, there is that sense of separation where it's like, I'm already entrusting the school to keep you safe, so why not someone who's a part of it, right? Or why not someone who's affiliated with the school? Like, I mean, that once you think about it that way, it doesn't seem as outlandish because they're already like they're already far from home. It's like what's a few, whatever, right?
I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, that's fucking crazy that all these parents
it is insane.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's insane that the kid's dad is like, yeah, I'll bring some strange kids to our place to go skiing. Like, that's the part that I think is most outrageous.
Oh, yeah, the most crazy that like the parents signing off on it was like, yeah, okay, that's a little weird. But this dad being like, yeah, 3 other kids, yeah, come with me.
These kids are 5 years
younger than you. One of you's
a
Mormon? Let's go.
Now, it's it's funny you mentioned that because during the church service, during the mass before they leave, the priest does say Happy Hanukkah and everyone laughs because it's very unlikely a Jewish family is a part of this school, even though there is like 1 or 2,
yeah. Well, I mean, have we not seen School Ties?
They had just, like, by 1970, it was becoming a little bit more prevalent, right? but just like that moment in history where it's like Jewish students were being a part of these prestigious schools. And so he said, and as it, and as it turns out, happy Hanukkah, and everyone laughs, and I'm sure this Jewish student is not laughing.
Yeah. And what, hang on, since I just said that, sidebar, when did School Ties come out?
School Ties came out in the 90s.
Well, when does it take place?
I don't
55. I just looked it up. Could you imagine if I just had that on lock? Like, oh no, it came out it took place in 1955. No, I was just curious because, like, what you were just saying about, context of the time that the Holdovers takes place. I was like, because that's the whole plot of School Ties.
Yeah.
Of Brendan Fraser's character being Jewish at this very prestigious all boys boarding school. And so I was like, I wonder if they did the same thing. No, they just did it 15 years prior. But yeah, okay. So the ending.
Yeah.
Now, the ending made me mad. Not as mad as I've been in other films that have pissed me off, but it made me mad. Because, they're... Also, hang on. Fuck Stanley, by the way. Fuck that guy. That guy's the worst. And I didn't want to think that because he looked a lot like the actor that fucking voices Hercules in
yes.
in Hercules. Oh my god, it is. That's never mind. Now I feel really bad. Okay, but fuck the character of Stanley.
Yes, of course.
Tate Donovan is actually really cool. But yeah, no, it just okay. Back on target. Pissed me off that they are so accusatory towards Hunnam. And I hate the fact that the headmaster can't see the fact that doing this holdover clearly affected Hunnam in some way. The fact that he's actually advocating for Tully, and but I get it also that the parents wanted someone reprimanded, and since Hunnam openly said like, oh no, it was me, I convinced him to go, I'm sure they were like, well then he needs to be fired because how dare he interfere in our family business. But it makes me so mad too because after everything we just experienced as an audience, seeing Angus's anger and his grief and the vulnerability that he really confides in Hunnam of, I feel like when my mother looks at me, she sees my father. He feels abandoned by his own mother, and then she's here just I was so angry.
It's frustrating.
I was like,
yeah.
It's like, you're such a bitch. And it's fucking Gillian Vigman. Like, I was like, you're such a bitch. Oh, you're such a bitch. Like Hunnam has spent probably more time with your son than you have, and gotten to know these insecurities. Because, we didn't really talk about it, but, Tully confides in Hunnam that he's been seeing a therapist. And I can guarantee you his mother's making him see a therapist.
Probably.
Now, granted, I'm sure it's actually probably doing him good.
Yeah.
But I guarantee that came like, well, you need to go see a therapist. Yeah. Like, I can't deal with this. You need to go see a therapist. But, oh, man, it made me so mad.
I know. Well, and it's also, like, the ending is sort of bittersweet because Hunnam is being taken down by, rich, snobby, prominent members of the community yet again. And also just the humiliation of, the headmaster being a former student of his. But this allows him to stop feeling so trapped, right? He almost realizes that, he's just, on this endless loop that he'll never get out of unless he leaves. And so I feel like there is that that sort of hopeful quality to the ending of Hunnam being able to leave this place and start something different, and do something different, and maybe thrive at something that he will enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully knowing that he has the sort of the, I don't know, the intelligence to do it, or like the courage to do it, or the skills and know-how. Like, he needs to relearn that he has value
Mm-hmm.
and that he can succeed in whatever he wants. Um, like when Mary gives him the notebook for him to write his book, and he jokes that there's a lot of pages. Um,
Yeah.
it's like, Mary believes in him that he can do it. He just needs to find the belief in himself to do it.
Yeah. And you're right. The ending is a little bittersweet. And I think he does find that belief when he finally, I mean, he knows he's fired, but he still finds the courage to tell the headmaster what he really thinks of him, which is now, I feel like I'm again proving your point of this movie becoming a classic. A very infamous, well, not infamous, a very famous line now of him calling the headmaster penis cancer in human form.
Yeah.
Ashley was kind of half paying attention because she was working on some gifts, but that made her look up and be like, huh, that's funny.
It's really good, and
And
you're not expecting him to say that at all.
because it starts off so sincere of like, I've known you since you were a boy, so I feel like I have the prerequisite to say, and then he just hits him. But yeah, and then he gets these final moments with Mary and then Tully, and just like we've been seeing, it's exactly what it needs to be. Mary is very motherly and very like, I believe in you. And then with Tully, it's almost in a way the student becoming the teacher, in him sort of like telling Hunnam, I believe in you, you got
Mm-hmm.
this.
Yeah.
Like, you got this.
Yeah,
And
because that's what Hunnam needs. Hunnam needs reassurance, and he needs that support.
mm-hmm.
And gosh, what a beautiful moment it is when Mary sits down and just holds her hand out,
Oh, dude.
for Tully. It's just, oh man, like, it was so sweet, and they understand each other on such a different level now, and I just love, it's just, I love it, and I love Mary's character. I think she is just
Yeah.
amazing. And we haven't really talked about her character at all. Her character is pivotal to this film.
Agreed.
I believe it won her an Oscar.
Yes,
Yeah.
she did. I looked it up. Yes,
Yeah.
she won won an Oscar for best supporting
Yeah.
actor.
Good. Well deserved. It is an incredible
Agreed.
performance, and especially at the Christmas party when she breaks down in her grief. Yet still shortly after that, still sort of putting Hunnam in his place about how he's treating Tully still,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In her post grief stricken episode, she's still like, hey man, you need to get it together.
Like, yeah, you're gonna tell this boy that he feels abandoned. Like, come on. Yeah. Yeah, Mary is such a great character because I feel like Mary is the one that starts to break these walls down for both of them, little by little, with these little moments of, watching the newlywed game with Hunnam, and then going to the Christmas party, and Mary's the one who really really kind of sets them on their path to
Mhm.
finding common ground.
Yeah, no, I agree. She is the stepping stone to them sort of finding common ground and peace to their torment of not only each other but what they're going through. She is a constant reminder of I guess, like, I would say, like, recent grief, like current grief. They look at her and they see how she's still going, and
Mm-hmm.
they're sort of having to, say, well, she's doing it. Like, she is surviving, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Man, she's incredible. I love this character. And one of my favorite behind the scenes stories is she does not smoke in real life. Divine Joy, Randolph, she told Alexander Payne, she goes, I'm really nervous about the smoking thing. I don't really, I don't smoke, so I don't, he sent her like a carton of cigarettes and he said, practice. Because she didn't want the cigarette to be distracting. She wanted it to be natural, and she wanted to, because it's, now that you're smoking, you're constantly doing business while you're trying to act, right? And so
Yeah.
she's having to learn how to, smoke and act at the same time. And he just sent her a carton of cigarettes and said, "Get to work."
Amazing.
And she is just incredible. I am such a huge fan of hers. Now, I want to ask. So you're talking about the comedy of this film, which is,
Yeah.
it is funny, right? The movie is very funny. One of the best jokes in the movie, I feel, may have gone unnoticed by a few people who have seen this movie and maybe don't read up on trivia or don't pay really that much close attention. Paul Giamatti and Alexander Payne decided it'd be funny if his eye kept switching places, his lazy eye.
I've had that thought. It was like,
so throughout the movie, it keeps switching sides, to where it's funny when Angus asks, like, which one do I look at? And it's funny because throughout the movie it's different. So
yeah. Yeah. I think it's crazy that that at the Oscars that Nicolas Cage is the one who points out that he wore a glass contact so they could pull that effect off, and that made him blind.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do it practically. He didn't want to do it digitally.
Yeah.
And I just love the Nicholas is like, now, would I have done something like that? Hell yes, I would have. But the fact of the matter is, Paul, that you did it, and you did it so well. But yeah, and that's another thing that really pays off again, when he tells Angus, which I think that's a clue to Angus that, like, hey, something's going down, when he goes, it's this one.
Yep.
You look at this one. And it's just like, oh no, man, like,
yeah, he's out of there.
But man, every performance is great. I mean, again, I love Paul Giamatti. You said at the top of the show about Sideways.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had texted you about it because when we were talking about off mic, I was talking about American Dad. I got when I had started a rewatch of American Dad. I got to the episode where it's essentially Sideways.
Oh yeah, they go to the vineyard and he's dressed like Paul Giamatti from Sideways.
Yeah. I remember I texted you and I was like, should I watch Sideways? and that's when you're like,
No.
no, absolutely not.
I need to
Don't
give it
watch
another I'm going to give it another shot because I love this movie so much and I really like Nebraska. So I gotta, I gotta give this a shot, you know?
Yeah.
But another thing before we close out, because I know we're almost
Okay.
there. We are not able to use it anymore, but please, 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 if you have not listened to the song Silver Joy, where this film uses it in the beginning, after the choir, of course, go listen to it. It's incredible. Like, as soon as this movie ended, um, I put it on Spotify and I listen to it all the time. I think it's such a beautiful song. Um, and I thought it was an older song, and it's not. It's pretty modern, like 2018, 2019, something like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know, right? And also "Crying, Laughing, Loving, Lying" by Labby Sifrey. Labby Sifrey? It doesn't matter. Listen to that one also. It's very, very good. Normally we would have opened and closed the show with it, but we can't do that anymore. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, there's something I was going to add to that, but I don't remember.
okay.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy, with that being said, buddy, are you ready to wrap up?
I am.
Cool.
Yeah, this movie is just so good.
Yeah, it's so good, man. And it's, for being a drama, it's a really good examination of Christmas and like what that does to people and and God, it was so good. I told Ashley that she would definitely have to actually watch it with me.
Yeah.
Because she did want to see it, but she's been just so locked in on Christmas mode that she wasn't paying attention. But it's okay. I bought it digitally. It was $8 on Apple TV. So
Cool. I did too, by the way, because I had to watch it on my iPad last night, so I wouldn't bother anybody while they were sleeping.
Yeah.
Stayed up till like 2:00 watching it.
Yeah. Now is the time where I would say what we're talking about next week, which would have been my final pick before your final pick, then our end of season series. But to make it up to you that we did 2 of my films back to back, you are getting into do your 2 movies back to back, which next week will officially be your final pick of the season. So what are we talking about next week, buddy?
It was a difficult decision, but and I may regret it. I don't know.
Oh shit.
Because it might be a little difficult, but I don't think so. We'll see. It's been on my mind lately, and I know we've mentioned it so many times on this show, and that it's like, well, why don't we just talk about it? If we keep referencing it, or if I keep referencing it, on certain episodes in a very specific context, then let's just go ahead and talk about it, and let's clear the air about this movie, because I hate all of the backlash that it gets, and I don't like that people seem to, I believe, misunderstand the message of the movie, and that's Andrew Dominik's Blonde. So, Joyce Carol Oates' novel and this film, I mean, I feel like I don't think people get it. I don't, like, at least not the way I do,
Yeah, agreed. Fuck. You're right. It's going to be hard, but I think it's going to be really good in the long and short of it. Yeah, man. And we did an Andrew Dominik episode this season with the assassination of Jesse James.
Yeah.
And we talked about, we touched on Blonde a little bit in that because, we pointed out that Andrew Dominik has this really cool lens when he does biopics, which is, taking fictionalized parts of someone's life and really kind of leaning into that, which gives sort of a better scope of that person's life. And, and Marilyn Monroe, is she's such a polarizing icon in American cinema history. And I feel like his handling of her story. You're right. Critics despise this movie.
Yeah.
And I know I talked to, I think, our good friend Emily about it, and she was kind of on our side about being like, no, the film was great.
Yeah.
Like it really captures, I mean, granted, I think like 90% of the movie didn't happen.
Yeah. Well,
But
and it's so interesting how Joyce Carol Oates creates the story, never claimed it to be real. Like, it is fiction. It's historical fiction. Like, she is, it's just like when you read a historical fiction book, let's even use 11/22/63 as an example.
Well, I think it's a great example.
It's so easy to separate this from the truth, right? Because obviously there's time travel, there's sci-fi elements, and where we're using real people in real situations at certain times, and names that we know very well from that point of history, there's still a lot of separation because you have this new character that doesn't exist that's going around and interacting with these people, right? But when you do a historically fictionalized biography, it's harder to separate the fact and fiction, I think, in a way that you can accept it, right? I feel like if any of the words in this is biography, then it's like, then I should take it as fact, but that is not the case. And I think
Correct,
that
yeah.
in this instance, it's not so much this is what happened to Marilyn Monroe. This is how it feels to be Marilyn Monroe. This is how it feels to be Norma Jean Baker. This is how it feels to be an actress or woman in show business. This is what it feels like to be that person.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is Lynchian, surreal, nightmare dream logic sort of, it just puts you in a really weird headspace. And maybe it was too weird for people, and I get that. But I think that if you watch this movie through the lens of this is what it feels like to be, instead of this is what it was to be, then I think you'll enjoy it more.
Agreed. Yeah. There was something I was going to add to that too, which is, I remember defending this movie to someone, I don't remember who, because their big gripe is how untrue pretty much the whole movie is. And I was like, well, the problem is most of the people that knew what was true are all dead. So we don't know. We just know, accounts of what happened and things like that. So I feel like this is the best summary of the exploitation of Marilyn Monroe. And again, I like what you said, because that for me puts things in a new context of this is how it feels.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted the movie. And if I could, oh my God, if I could find a unabridged version of Joyce Carol Oates' book, I would know more about the story. But the one on Audible is abridged. Like, what are you doing? Don't take stuff out.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
yeah, I want to know everything.
It drives me crazy, dude.
And then one final thing I'll end this tease on is, which I know we'll get into it, Ana de Armas.
Oh, incredible.
Amazing.
I love her.
The fact she wasn't nominated for anything, I don't think.
Because people hated it.
Travesty.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Agreed.
Cool, man. What a way to, this is our Christmas episode. What a way to ring in the new year.
Well, and it's funny because I think my first pick of the season was Assassination of Jesse James, maybe.
Yeah,
And
I
so
think it
my
was,
last
too.
pick is blonde. That's fine.
I mean, a
I
good
didn't do that on
bookend for
purpose.
you. Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, we hoped you enjoyed this Christmas episode on the Holdovers, and we will see you next week for Blonde.